Hey guys, and welcome back to the fifth episode of the Untold Gems Podcast. I'm here with Charl and Sasha, and today we've got a few topics to talk about. So first of all, as usual, how's your week so far, guys?
It was good.
Good.
You?
Yeah, yeah, it was good for me as well. So what did we want to talk about today?
Mental Health Awareness Month. So apparently the month of May is the Mental Health Awareness Month. So we kind of wanted to make that our theme of this episode. Do you guys have anything like specific any like specific things that you wanted to talk about in regards to that?
Oof, where to start? Where to start?
Yeah,
It's
I
kind
feel
of a
like there's
heavy
a lot to
topic.
say about this.
Yeah. But the first thing that I thought of when I thought of mental health awareness was, well, actually, it was Chris who mentioned this, basically like not caring what people think about you. So I guess we can just start with that.
Yeah.
The main thing that I saw that made me like really think about like stopping to care what people think about you is there was this video. I always talk about Gary Vee, like I keep mentioning Gary Vee in these podcasts, but he always posts like videos that always like it always makes me think a lot, or I don't know, I always just like appreciate his videos so much. But basically he had a video where he was like, we're no longer in high school, blah blah blah. I forget exactly what he was saying. You guys have to go watch it on his Instagram, but he was saying like, why are you caring basically what people think? Like, we're not in high school anymore. And like obviously when you're in high school, that's kind of like the main thing that you think about every day. But then it had me thinking, I was like, if you really think about all of the people that you like if you think of starting a new project, like if you're going to start YouTube or you're going to start a podcast or whatever you're starting, who are you thinking like when you think, oh, these people are going to think that I'm like doing something stupid, who are you usually thinking about? And for me, when I thought of that, I was like, oh, it's like the people that I grew up with, like the people from my high school. And so it's so crazy how like those are the people that we spend our whole life kind of like living up to or like trying to prove something to. But it's like everyone that we went to high school with are completely different people. Like for me, it's been I think 8 years since I graduated, and like 8 years of time makes you a completely different person than you were, you know? And so to me, I just thought that that was like an eye opener, because I was like, holy shit, the only people that I ever like really think about who are judging me, it's like not the people around me today, you know? It's people that I grew up with 8 years ago. So, anyways, that's kind of what I wanted to talk about because I thought it was interesting.
No, I think you touched upon a interesting point, and I think that society forces us to compare each other or compare ourselves to each other all the time, and they say comparison is the thief of joy. And ever since you're growing up, you always get compared, or you always comparing yourself to X person. They had the latest shoes, you want to have the latest shoes, etc., etc. So I think growing up, especially in your early 20s, mid 20s, when you're trying to discover who you are, if you don't meet society's standards, meaning having a high paying job early on, going to a prestigious university or college, etc., etc., sometimes it's hard for you to be content with where you are or with your progress, because you'll see or compare yourself to your classmates who no longer have any impact on your actual life. So at least for me, that's why I struggle a bit early on, especially when everybody's coming from different backgrounds, but because of social media, you have the constant reminder of what people are up to as well. So it's kind of hard to navigate the social media world, because every day
Yeah.
you get bombarded with what people are doing. And then afterwards, if you're not going to the latest vacation, if you're not going and to the nicest restaurants, something's wrong with your life.
I get
So
FOMO like every day. Every weekend I get so
yeah,
much FOMO. And it's like half of the time when I get FOMO, I'm like, I don't even actually want to be there. It's just like you see people having fun and you're like, wait a minute, why am I not doing that too? But it's like I am actually having fun doing what I'm doing, you know? But it's just like, I don't know, it's like I like social media makes me have some serious FOMO lately, especially with the weather getting better. I'm like, fuck. But anyways, it's just like it's true. Social media is so toxic. Like social media is ruining people's lives. As much as I love social media, but it's definitely ruining people's lives.
yeah. And to be honest with you, if I wasn't making money from social media, I don't think I'd be on it. Like for my own mental
Well, that's
health,
what I tell people
I don't
too. I tell
think
people
I'd
all the
be.
time.
I
Me
don't think
too.
I'd be on it, because
Bro,
for me, yeah, go
so
Chris.
social media like Instagram is should literally be just a promotional tool. Like it I
Yeah.
wouldn't use it for personal use. Like I use it to grow awareness to my page and to what I do with Amazon and stuff like that. But yeah, it's not something that I like to do or like to show my personal life and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I think it should be used mainly as a promotional tool, like for business and stuff.
and for me, I only made that switch like maybe what 3 years ago, like 4 years ago. And like whenever I started was an investor, for me that was the switch of like, okay, well let me just show my journey throughout the process, because at least for me earlier on when I started, there was a lot of on the ground flexing, go on your vacation, posting all your stories, this and that. And sometimes I think that having the notifications like a dopamine in our brain is like gives us like instant gratification, saying that we're important, we're important. But sometimes you have to evaluate to see exactly what's really important. And for me, is the actual connection I have in real life, because I know a lot of people that have 1,000+ followers on IG. They probably have like 5 close friends, but
Yeah.
the 995 people are people who are irrelevant in your actual life, but you care enough about their opinions to post exactly anything on social media. So I think that it's if you're not promoting, or if you don't have a actual like funnel where you're actually able to convert actual dollars, then you're doing yourself a disservice just pleasing to what people want to see on social media and not living the actual life.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, from a long time ago, I was like, there's no point in using social media, and I stopped kind of using it like personally. But I always knew, like I've always known that I wanted to do something online. So like like when I used to do makeup videos and stuff on YouTube, I used to post about that, and that's when I kind of started having the switch for me. That was in like 2017, I think, and so I started switching and using social media for that. But then like I kind of stopped doing that, so then I just started using it for personal reasons again, and then I was like, there's no point in doing this. So I ended up like deactivating I don't think I deactivated, but like I deleted all the apps and everything. And I was like, I'm just gonna stop using them. And like, I have to say my life was so much better. Like when I wasn't like 24/7 on these platforms. And
Yeah.
what kind of sucks about having a business that's online, even though it's really nice, is like you're kind of forced to be online. So you kind of see
Yeah.
part of those toxic things, even though you're there for work. So it's like you catch yourself in between working. You're like, oh shit, I'm like scrolling and scrolling and scrolling, seeing a
Yeah.
bunch of toxic shit. So like it kind of sucks in that way. But I think overall, if you force yourself to not spend too much time like on entertainment and you're like creating, I think that makes it better, like a little bit
Yeah.
better.
But what you guys think about this opinion is that like, especially like promoting your brand, or like promoting awareness, like sometimes you have to show people what they want to see. And sometimes
Yeah.
is that you could post the most valuable information, but if it's not like a toxic element, or if it's not flexing, or if it's not promoting the lifestyle that you have, nobody's gonna
Mhm.
pay attention to it. So it's like I get the point we're saying, like, oh yes, we can't like be in the toxic environment, but we're also creating that toxicity. Because when I go on
It's
IG, there's
true.
people above me that go to the Maldives, they go Bora Bora, and I'm like, oh shit, the fuck am I doing with whatever
It's
I'm
true.
doing, you know?
Like you get caught in that a bit because like people literally don't pay attention to you sometimes if you're not being flashy. So like you can get easily caught into that like flexing type of lifestyle just to get people's attention because like people will literally not listen. Sometimes if like for example, if you think about like if I'm thinking about people that I follow, and there's like guys who are super flashy and blah blah blah, and like they appear physically rich because they have like they're flashy with it. But then there's guys who are like more they're not really wearing nice like designer clothes and stuff, but like they're probably like making a lot of money too. But people don't take that guy as serious as the other guy. So sometimes you can kind of fall into that like flexing mode and just like I don't know. I feel like it's easy to fall into that because people I swear they will not listen or they won't listen as much unless you're that flashy person. So it's kind of like I don't know. It's easy to fall into that, unfortunately.
Yeah, you see, and I had it like in my like real life where like people actually only pay attention to you to like the clothes you're wearing, the watches you're wearing, etc. So it's like
Yeah.
we've kind of like forced social media into like the real world. It's like Chris said, you could be just living your regular life, not promoting anything, but nobody's gonna pay any or give you any credence if you don't have any,
Yeah.
we'll say, purpose in life, promoting, etc. But as soon as you wear a nice watch, a nice top, if you go on vacation, people get like, oh, so what you do as a business, what you do as a living, etc. All of a sudden, people have interest in
So
what you want
true.
to do,
It's so
and
true.
like I remember like a couple years ago, I drove like a Ferrari for like a day or two, a bunch of mad DMs, etc. Like, oh, I see you, this and that, this and that. You could post free information that just shows you exactly how I was able to afford that trip or be able to afford to drive a Ferrari, but people won't consume in the same way as well.
Yeah, it's so true. It's so crazy that that's like how it works, you know? I actually saw this guy and he was like, he's an Amazon seller and he dresses like normal, like very normal. Like he doesn't really, he's not flashy. And someone sent him a message saying like, oh, why would like, why do you dress like that? Or like, how come you don't look rich if you're claiming that you're making money? And he was like, oh my God. And it's like, but it's so true. Cause even me, sometimes I'm like, oh, like it falls in your mind. Like you're just like, you think like, oh, why isn't this person buying a bunch of nice stuff if they're actually rich, you know? And like, sometimes I even catch myself saying things like that, but it's like so hard to just like separate that. Oh, it's crazy. But that's how we're like brought up with social media. So it's so easy to think that way.
Speaking on like caring about what people think, I wanted to talk about this because we're 26, 27, like 28. I always thought in my mind by this age I would stop caring what people think. Like that's a goal of mine to just let go. And this year I think it's the best I've ever done of not caring about other people's opinions and just doing what I want to do and stuff like that. And it's just strange that people are actually paralyzed by other people's opinions and fully paralyzed to the fact that they will not start a given thing, or like they won't follow what they actually want to do in life because of what either their parents think about it or their friends. um, and when you realize that it just doesn't matter, I don't know, like you have to come to the realization that like your closest friends will talk about you sometimes. And once you can understand that no matter what you do, whether it's positive or negative, people will be talking about you. And even your close friends, like your close friends, will be talking about you. So once you realize that, I think you can start letting go and just doing what you actually want to do.
Yeah, it's
No, I
true.
think that's a very valid point. And I think that I think it was easier, especially during the pandemic, because everybody was like trying out new things. So that was like the moment to like really
Yeah.
like make those like reflection on like letting go. But I think that, like you said, people are so paralyzed with these thoughts that consume themselves, and like legit, some people know they have a passion, they won't pursue it because of the possibility of having some type of judgment. And like we're all going through this like transition where legit we post what you want because we have to, and that's what legit the type of lifestyle that you want. And change is not comfortable. None of this is like comfortable for you to be able
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
like
Oh
let
yeah.
go and let God and just let life take its natural courses. It's really I compared like yourself versus yourself. Like sometimes you have to talk yourself into like really not caring what people think as well, because it's easy to say, 2022, I want to do this. But it's another thing to say, okay, well, I don't care what anybody says. I'm still going to go for it, even though your mom might say it's not a good idea. Your dad might say it's not a good idea. Your friends might talk about it. Sometimes you have to have the self-belief to say, I believe in myself or my abilities, and just go for it 100%.
Yeah, facts. Like, and it's not even that. It's like sometimes it's not even out of bad intention that they're telling you to not do things. Maybe it's just the way that they've been taught, or I don't know. Yeah, it's not always out of bad intention, but you
Yeah,
shouldn't.
sometimes they don't think it's possible. Like they just don't think that it's like something that, or like they've just never seen it done, so they don't think that it's actually achievable. So that's like it's not always intentional that they're like doubting you, I guess, but it's like it's just that they've never seen it happen.
But yeah, like
Yeah,
you
you
said, Charl,
know?
like self belief. Like if you don't believe in yourself, and as you grow, yeah, I think you need to have certain goals set in place by like 25, 26, 27. Like I'm talking, I don't feel comfortable thinking that I still care about what people think about me. Like it just doesn't feel right that still bothers me. It's obviously always going to be there. But if you've analyzed your past actions, or if you analyze your life right now, why aren't you doing like what you want to do with your life? You know what I mean? And mostly it's because you care about what people think of you, even if it's subconscious.
Yeah.
So yeah, you have to try to start like working on it. I've been working on it. I know you guys have as well, and it's a process. But the more you can do that, the quicker you can do that, the quicker you'll be able to sort of do what you want to do and enjoy your life.
Yeah, but you see, and you said a good point too, is that like at least I'll speak for myself. By seeing you guys go out and like doing what you have to do every single day, it pushes me to be able, okay, like if Sasha and Chris could do it, I could do it also.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes people have a circle, but it's really a cage where they just can't see anything besides what's in front of them. So sometimes it's not even because they don't have the self belief, but sometimes it's the entourage that they have
Yeah.
that like creates a toxic environment. So sometimes it's just reevaluating your circle. I'm not saying that you can be friends with those people, but sometimes associating yourself with people who are doing the same things or similar things that you want to do could allow you to have exposure to new ideas, new possibilities, etc. At least for me, especially during the pandemic, it forced me to make evaluations of, like Chris said, past decisions that I made in the past. And, I could see a pattern that I had in my life where, I was really consumed to think what people had, their thoughts about me, etc. So for me, it was really a question of why would I do this? And I also had this, like, I'll call it like addiction, but I call it like like shopping therapy or like shopping rehab, whatever you want to call it. Every time I felt like bad about myself, I had to go buy something expensive to like justify my feelings. And sometimes or I realized it wasn't really to justify my feelings. Sometimes it was just to say, okay, well, people feel certain way about me. Let me just like put on something like nice so like their opinions
Yeah, you
on me could
look
change.
good.
Yeah, at least I look good. But
I'm really
it's
guilty of that too.
yeah, when you understand those patterns, is that like Chris said, when you reach 26, 27, 28, especially as a man too, how are you supposed to make decisions for your family if you are consumed by the opinions of other people? And like
Facts.
is that mindset that you have to switch to be able to say, okay, well, let me do what's best for me, what's in the best interest of my family, regardless of what people think. And that's how really you're able to have quick investment in your life also.
Facts.
Yeah, bro. Like it just doesn't matter at the end of the day what other people think about you. Like if you know yourself and you're happy doing what you're doing, it matters. Like it doesn't matter at all.
Yeah, but for Chris, for someone who is listening to this podcast and is like, okay, well, Chris, I understand what you're saying, but what are some tangible steps that I could take or that you
It
took to be able to like
Well, that's a
unblock
good question.
those feelings?
yeah, it sounds dumb, but push yourself. Obviously, it's like cliche, push yourself out of your comfort zone. If let's say you want to post something on social media and you wouldn't typically do it because you care about what other people are going to. I don't know if this is a tip, but like just do it, just post it, and that'll make you feel a certain way. You'll either regret it, but in most cases, you'll just let it live and be like, okay, I posted this, and it's out now. And then in the future, once you'll have to face that decision again, you'll remember that step that you first took, because a lot of people will never take that first step. For me it's stupid, but like I said, I don't like posting on social media. So for me that was a big thing of, okay, I need to stop caring about what people think so that I can post and grow my businesses that way. And yeah, it was super super uncomfortable at first. It still is, to be honest. I still have to make that decision every time I post, but the fact that I've done it in the past helps me to just do it in the future. And now it's getting easier and easier to post online. And like with this podcast, I don't think I would have tried this like before, but now I just don't care anymore. Like I'm in a good place where um yeah, I don't care as much as I used to. And hopefully I stay that way, because it's ups and downs. Sometimes you feel
Yeah,
really good and sometimes you don't feel as good. But yeah, so that would be my tip. Do you guys have any tips?
I'm
No, it's
curious to
really
hear
good.
Sasha's transformation because Sasha is like someone who lasts, especially on Twitter, on IG. At least for me, I have a trouble of showing or being vulnerable online. That's for me something that
Yeah.
I'm unable to do right now. And I think Sasha is one of the most vulnerable people where what you see online is what you get. So it comes to the point where you have to be so comfortable in your skin and not care what people think or have judgment that you're just able to pour everything online and have the attitude like judge me as I am and that's how I am, and either you like it or you fuck with it or just unfollow. So I think that's a very powerful movement I've been seeing the last couple of years, and at least for me that inspires me to keep pushing, keep, like Chris said, sometimes it's ups and downs, and sometimes you could be up here everywhere else in your life, but sometimes your confidence or just
Yeah.
you did it down low, but you still have to keep pushing to make sure you're at like at least even balanced.
Yeah, and just to like elaborate on like what Chris was saying about like you just have to do it. It's like it sounds like cliche, I guess, but um and like also like you guys are saying like Charles said like oh like my page is like vulnerable and stuff, but it's like I've been posting on social media for so long, like not so much on Instagram, but like on Twitter, like since I was in high school, like I've been on Twitter, like, and it wasn't for business purposes. I was tweeting like personal things, and so like I think I have a lot more experience of like being personal with people online because I've been doing it, you know? And like I tried doing YouTube like 5 years ago. So like I put out YouTube videos already. Like I've done those embarrassing things and like deleted those videos because they were shit. And so like I've already kind of gone through that. Like I'm starting this new project. Everyone's gonna be staring at me and watching me do this and like kind of make a fool of myself. So I think because I've already kind of like I kind of have maybe a bit more extra experience of doing that, or more I've done it more times maybe, but like I think that's what makes me not care so much now. But like initially when I did it, you know, I was also really like afraid to post those videos and everything. But now I'm like at the point where I'm like I do not care at all. Like I'm not afraid to post my YouTube videos. The only thing I'm kind of afraid of is Instagram. For some reason Instagram's intimidating, but like ever since it's been like what 3 weeks I think, or 2 weeks since I've started posting reels like pretty consistently, and like I'm telling you now, when I hit like publish, I don't even care anymore. But the first post that I posted, I was like shaking. I was like, oh my God, this is gonna be so bad. But like I swear, like every time you press publish, it gets like so much easier and easier that like it's true what Chris was saying. You literally just have to do it. And like the more you do it, it becomes less scary, I guess. And yeah, like everyone kind of starts from a shitty place where like your content's not as good, or whatever you're doing in life, like what like anything that you start in life, it's going to be kind of like not perfect when you start, and that's literally like it's inevitable. Like it's going to be bad if you're just starting something out, or maybe not bad but not as good as it could be, you know. And like with experience and you doing it more than once, that's how you'll actually become good. So it's like you like everyone has to start from somewhere. Everyone in the world who's become famous, successful, whatever, they've all started from being shitty. Like I'm sure every singer in the planet had a bad song, you know, when they first started, or they put out a song and everyone was like, oh, this person sucks. Like I'm sure they all started out that way. So like you have to kind of just do it, keep doing it, and then like eventually you'll get better at making content. And like yeah, you just have to believe in yourself and understand that you will get good at doing this if you keep doing it. And like it becomes so much less scary once you force yourself to do it the first couple of times. Like I'm saying, I don't feel like nervous. Like on Twitter, I don't care. I'll post anything on Twitter. I'm not afraid to post on Twitter. Even YouTube, I'm not afraid. It's just Instagram for some reason that like took me a bit of time to get like used to like that type of content. Because it's very like fast paced like content, whereas like for like high quality short content where YouTube's like long videos where you can kind of just ramble, kind of like a podcast in a way. Not as it's kind of a mix of the two, but I prefer YouTube style of content and I prefer Twitter style of content. But I think for me to not like to kind of, because I've been ignoring Instagram, like oh fuck Instagram, but now I'm like this, like one of my goals this year was to grow my Instagram page, and like I finally was like, I don't give a shit, because it's because I follow everyone from my high school basically on Instagram. So I was always like I was kind of nervous. But then I was like, you know what? I'm sure they're all wondering what everyone thinks about them too. I'm sure they're all completely different people. And like they probably don't give a shit what's happening in my life when they have lives too. You know what I'm saying? And like one person might make a comment like, oh, she looks stupid. But like I don't give a shit about that person anymore. So it's like you just have to get to a point where like you just have to stop caring and just start posting, and it will become easier and easier. Like I went on a little rant there, but that's like the best input I can give, I guess.
No, but I appreciate you guys both speaking on that. And like for me, like listening to you guys also, and like seeing like the progression you guys did the last couple of years, I really know that you guys like found your passion or your niche and like really are going all in on that. And I think for us, all in is really a team that we have for 2022, because it's really to a point where self-development is important for all of us, but it's also a point where sometimes you can't see it, but the belief is so strong that like nobody can tell you otherwise. So for people 25, 26, 30 who aren't potentially in a fulfilling job, or aren't in a fulfilling relationship, or aren't in fulfilling friendships, what are some tips that people could use, or what are some tips that you took from other people to discover your passion or discover yourself in like in a not a short time frame, but to be able to like really wake up and be in your purpose every single day?
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yo,
I
we
think
plotting.
yo, just try as many things as possible. Again, it sounds cliche, but the cliche things are true, like they just are, but you have to realize them yourself for them to make sense. So
True.
us telling you guys, like it won't happen. It has to come from you and you realizing it on your own time. But just try as many things as possible because like Sasha was saying, I've done my fair share. I think we all have like cringy shit like back
Yeah.
when we were younger. And yeah, it can't like as you grow, it can't get any cringier, I don't think. Like you start maturing and well, maybe for some
I'll
people,
speak for
but
myself. My shit can still be cringy, bro.
yeah, you're right.
No,
Yeah,
it's
I
better
guess
than before for sure. Like it has to be
it's
better than
better than
before.
before for me. For me, it's better. Like whatever
Fam.
I'm doing now,
Yeah.
even if it's still cringy, it's way better than before. Um, so yeah, just try as many things as possible because you won't. It's not gonna. If you don't have a passion, like I'm still trying to find it to this day, but there are certain things that you can do to accelerate the process, and just try things like try things. Don't tell anyone that you're trying it because again maybe you might be subconsciously caring about what people think, so try things that you want to try without talking about it to other people.
I
That right
always,
there, yeah. That
I
right
always,
there is probably the biggest thing that I learned in 2021.
yes,
Yeah, the
yes.
most successful thing I've done is so far in my life is my Amazon business, and that started by me not talking or not even sharing it online or not talking about it to anyone other than my really, really close friends for a couple of months. It was like 3 to 4 months, even 4 to 5
Yeah,
months.
I think we had made like not a promise, but we were like, let's not tell anyone for the first couple of months because we were like, we want to make
Yeah,
sure
just
that
so that it doesn't fuck up with my energy. Because once you start telling people, first of all,
everyone starts
Sasha says it all the
asking.
time. No, but you say like once you tell people what you're doing,
That
that's
Yes,
energy
like
spilled onto
guys,
you. Yeah.
yes. It's from a book called The Motivation Myth by James Harden. He said in the book, he's like, and I always say this all the time because it's stuck with me. He says basically like the moment that you tell someone a goal of yours, it's like half of the work is done. Like you feel accomplished, like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be doing this. So then you don't feel as like
Hungry.
pumped
Yeah.
to actually go
yeah,
do it, because it's like you've already bragged to everyone that you're gonna go do it.
Yeah.
So it's like half of that like satisfaction that you'll get has already been, you've already got it. So it's like you'll be less, like Charles said, you'll be less hungry to actually go do it. So once I read that, I was like, holy shit, we need to stop telling people. And as much as sometimes I like think of an idea, and my brain's always like spinning with new ideas because I'm just like all over the place, and I'll be like, oh my god, Chris, I'm gonna do this, or I'll tell my mom like, oh, I'm gonna do this, and I've been doing that all my life and not doing what I say I'm gonna do. And so that's like kind of a resolution of mine. Like that was the first book I read this year, and I was like, holy shit, and it really stuck with me because I'm like, I'm not telling anyone any of my goals now. Like maybe my mom, but like I'm gonna try not to tell anyone, because like I said, the moment you start bragging about it, it's like you already have that satisfaction of like, yes, I'm cool, I'm gonna be doing this cool thing. So just stop telling people. Don't tell people.
Yeah. And I tell people, a lot of people have, like Sasha said, I have like ideas from like 2035 that I know are going to be in place, but it has to be a process. But I tell people is that if you're able to write down your goals on a piece of paper, you're most likely, and you're able to look at it like on my screensaver, I have a background that says you will be a multimillionaire. Not I
Let's
might
go.
be, is I will be. And when you're able to see your goals every single day, it goes into your subconscious. I don't want to go to this whole energy thing, but it goes into your subconscious and you really start believing it. So, like Chris said, instead of telling everybody what you're going to do, write it down, visualize it, manifest it, but do the work for it. And then you'll be able to slowly get into the process of it because it won't be overnight. I tell people that just because you say it doesn't mean it's going to happen. So, a lot of people are saying, oh, I'm going to do this. You check with them 6 months from now, they have a new idea. They have a new business, and
I'm so guilty of that. I'm so guilty of that. Like I've done that my
yeah,
whole life.
but exactly. But if you wouldn't tell nobody, nobody would know. Sometimes, and we all try many different things, and sometimes you have businesses that work, sometimes they're just a side hustle. But if you're able to find a high paying or skill that's able to pay you substantial money or provide you a side business or passive income, don't tell anybody.
Yeah,
Figure it
100%.
out, work on the
Yeah.
kinks, and make it profitable. At least keep it to yourself for like 4, 5, 6 months. Then establish, unless if you need the following for it, then there's no reason for it. But if you're just learning on yourself, don't tell anyone, because at the end of the day, sometimes, like Sasha said, I'm a true believer that sometimes people want to see you at the same level as them, and I've been in situations and environments where, you know, you're in a group of friends, and as soon as somebody starts getting a bit more advancement somewhere, there's a bit of a jealousy, So sometimes
True.
it's to be able to keep that for yourself, look to see where you're going long term, and then afterwards make those adjustments as you go also.
Yeah, and I think that's why Amazon worked so well for us. Like, I think that's the main reason why we were able to stick with it for so long. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe if we would have told people, it still would have been fine. But like, I think as not really telling anyone about like starting to sell on Amazon, I think that really helped. Like, just to keep doing it, and like, I think I like obviously my mom knew, but like my friends, I didn't tell any of my friends for the longest time. And then like when I did tell them, they were kind of like that's when people started asking questions and stuff. But like if I would have done that in the beginning, I'm sure that because like a lot of people had their doubts when I did tell them. So imagine in the beginning if I would have told people, they would have been like, "Oh, are you sure?" Like blah blah blah. You know what I'm saying? So like, and
100%,
to be me
100%.
necessarily, they're just like they've never heard of anyone doing it, so they're kind of like, they're kind of just like, "What is that?" Like curious, like confused. What are you doing? What is that? Blah blah blah. And not exactly being negative, but kind of being negative. So I'm sure if that would have happened in the beginning, I'm sure that would have had some, like that would have made me kind of like more discouraged to even continue doing it. So yeah.
Yeah, and fellas, I learned this trick from my mom. When I mentioned in episode 1, I think that I bought my first property at 23. I didn't tell anybody until like the documentation was signed, and I'll tell this to people who have a significant other, etc., especially if you're a man. Do not tell your girlfriend, your wife, that you have something planned until it's concrete. Because the worst thing that could happen is that you have so many different ideas, and you talk about, and there's no follow through. So it's as if you can't keep a promise, or if you say you're gonna do something, you don't follow up. So if you have a girlfriend and you have an idea, only talk about it when it's something concrete where you can show her and it's tangible, and be like, okay, here, baby, this is what it is. Instead of just saying you have an idea, you
Oh,
talk
it's
about it,
true.
and then afterwards, she's in the back of your head, like, whatever happened to the idea? You don't look serious at that point, also.
Yeah, I never thought about that because it's true. If you tell people you're going to do something and you don't do it, and you do that over and over and over again, your word loses value.
Oh,
So,
bro, guilty,
yeah,
guilty.
yeah.
Like that was my first relationship. Hashtag respectfully, that was my first relationship, because sometimes I think what is one of the worst things that a man could do is not keep his words, and like I'm
Empty
very
promise.
into empty promises. If you're saying you're gonna do something, do it. And for me, learning from my mistakes is that's one thing that I only promise things that I know I could keep. I won't do anything extravagant that I know I can't keep, because that only creates more problems. So like, if you're unsure of where you want to go, don't say anything. Just say I have an idea. Don't mention anything else. And then here's the trick. You'll be like, okay, when it's concrete, I'll talk to you about it, babe. That's it.
yeah.
More, nothing less.
It sounds weird and it's simple, but it's like you're keeping all that energy and excitement for yourself. So me, when I was doing Amazon, I remember taking pictures and with no intent of ever posting on social media. It was for myself because it was my personal project, and I wasn't sending it to anyone either. Maybe Sasha, because we were doing it together, but I wasn't sending it to friends. Like, it was something that I was doing for me. And looking back now, that's how I knew even back then that it was going to work, because it's because I was doing it for no one else but myself. And it wasn't even for the money. It was just literally a hobby. Like, let's pick out any hobby, and that's how it was for me. And yeah, it's like, I don't know what to compare it to. It's like you're keeping all of your energy for yourself, and it makes you like grow stronger. It's like a nofap. You know nofap, Charl? You never heard of nofap?
No, G.
Nofap,
Yo,
like
I'm gonna rock, guys. I'm gonna rock.
it's like keeping all that energy for yourself, and like,
Like I know what
and
you're
Yo,
talking
we'll just say like Super Saiyan in this bitch. I know Super Saiyan.
yeah, basically, so you turn
about.
into
Okay.
There
like
you
Super
go.
Saiyan.
All right.
So
All
it's
right.
the
All
same
right.
thing. It's the same
Yeah,
thing.
yeah,
Do
yeah,
that.
yeah. Shout out to all my
So
anime brothers and
yeah,
sisters.
yeah, yeah. So just do nofap with all of your projects, like, and you'll be good. You'll
I
you'll
am
win.
screaming.
No,
Um,
but I think that what Chris said is a very interesting point, and also like, at least for me during the pandemic, that was probably one of the times where I made the most reflections. I was probably, well, shit, I've been depressed multiple times, but I think that was one of the times where I was the most secluded in my thoughts. And I think that during the pandemic, I turned 25, and for me, it was like that. I was that. early life like crisis. Like for me, I was like freaking out because
Oh no.
I didn't have any direction of where I thought my life was gonna be. I thought at 25 I was gonna get married, have a kid or two, have a nice house, etc. You know, and sometimes your life doesn't progress a certain way. But like we say, if I would just get that shit for myself, I don't think that I would have had like this social pressure to like be able to like feel that way. You know, so I feel like sometimes just grinding on your own, keeping that energy, stacking it up, and then having people 5 years not be like, oh, what the hell happened to you? I think that's probably one of the best compliments that could ever happen. Because sometimes, you know, I run into people from high school like, oh shit, I didn't know you were gonna do all that. But since high school, I knew I was gonna do all this shit. It's just that like sometimes by not talking about to every second person, you keep that energy within, and you happen to have the element of surprise as well.
No
Also,
fab, no fab. You need to
I'll
look
just
it up,
go.
Charl.
I'll just go Wakanda forever.
Then it'll all make sense. Because it's what's it called? Mental. Oh shit.
mental awareness.
Mental
No.
health.
Mental health awareness
Mental
month.
health
Awareness
awareness
month.
month. So
My bad. No shooting, guys.
I want to talk about anxiety as well, but should we leave that for another episode?
No, we can talk about it.
Yeah,
Because anxiety is a long
but
topic. But if
I
you
want
guys
to get a professional, like a therapist or some shit like that,
oh,
on the
Oh.
podcast, so we could like talk about like how to deal with anxiety as well. Because I think at least I'll speak for myself. Like sometimes I deal with my own anxiety, and like for me, at least I'll take down some notes as well. So I think that should be an interesting episode.
yeah, okay. So yeah, we'll keep
Yeah.
it for another episode.
No, but you can touch on it a bit though.
I don't know. Like I had my, I don't know. It's just racing thoughts and having anxiety. I had my first anxiety attack a couple of months ago, and I'd never felt anything like that before, where it was just Sasha was there too. I couldn't stop thinking, and it was all like negative thoughts, negative thoughts, negative thoughts.
Yeah,
And
bro, I call it a downward spiral. Like literally
Yeah.
down, and like
yeah,
that's
and you can
that's how I
see it
described
happen.
it. I can
And
see it
Sasha,
happen
like,
gradually. I was like, oh no.
yeah, the way she describes it as the gears that like keep turning.
Yeah.
That's my
His
mind
brain
like
is
all
like
the
it's
time.
like those gears that are just always running, like multiple, like picture a bunch of gears like spinning, spinning, spinning. Like that's how his brain works sometimes. And like I'm a lot more of a calm, I guess you're calm too, but like I'm really like calm and I don't have racing thoughts like that. I'm just like, anyways, continue. But yeah, that's how I describe
Yeah.
it.
So it was because my mind's like that all the time, but then it was filled with negative thoughts, like negative,
Yeah.
negative,
Yeah.
back to back to back to back about like dumb shit. It wasn't even like negative thoughts, like
I don't even
serious
remember
things.
like what it was about
Yeah,
either.
yeah. It was, bro. It was just a compilation of things. It was, yeah. I don't remember exactly, but anyways, and then I just like meditated. I meditate. I believe in meditation a lot. I do it. I try to do it like 2 to 3 times a day. And yeah, I caught myself and I was like, okay, this needs to stop right now. So I laid in my bed, I meditated for about 20-30 minutes, and I came out of it like a different person. Like I was calm. I was able to calm myself down fully by just replacing all the bad thoughts with positive thoughts. And it sounds strange until you have it, but
No, I really to that shit. I really
yeah, like positive thoughts will change change everything.
Yeah, like I didn't get to the meditation part yet. Like I'm still trying to like find that balance within, but like having these like negative thoughts, especially when it's like a sequence. So at least for me, like my brain's kind of weird. It's like an episode that will say, "Well, I'll have like this sequence, I'll add on to this sequence, I'll add on to this one," and you have like a whole series. So for me, like my brain really works like a movie sometimes. So for me, it's one of those challenges where I had to really focus on the day to day. Sometimes I get so obsessed with the future and I think so ahead and I plan everything out. And I think sometimes I get anxiety when things don't line up a certain way. So for me, at least for me in 2022, is trying to really have a day to day, week to week, month to month, and only plan 3 months ahead. Because before, guys, I used to be 18 planning for like 32. You know, I used to be like 22. Guys, I was 22 planning for like my parents' retirement. You know, and like,
bro,
that's the type of pressure where you put on yourself, and it's like, especially like, I'll speak like, especially as like a black man, when it's like you're trying to like really establish yourself out and like really try to get yourself. I really thought I had like 2 different types of like pressure on my shoulder, and sometimes it's like Chris said, being able to take a step back and reevaluate your current situation and not think so big, but sometimes thinking micro and just really meditate on your current situation could make the world win a difference. So that's definitely something I'll try to adopt, because I think everybody has like their own personal demons, but at least like Chris said, I think meditation or just like clearing your thoughts could just make wonders for anybody.
Yeah,
Yeah,
praying,
100%
meditating.
meditation. Yeah. Something that helps me a lot, like I mean, I don't have like severe anxiety or anything, but like for me, it's kind of more like what Charl said, where like I'll be thinking about like what I need to do, and I'm like, okay, this week I need to do all of this, and then like sometimes I'll plan my days where I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do this, and then I end up planning like way too many things, and then I just become like super overwhelmed, and I'm like, I become kind of like I paralyzed, like I can't do anything because I'm just like I have too many things to do. Where do
Yeah.
I start? And so I get that kind of, I guess, anxiety. Like that's the anxiety that I get. And for me, like my whiteboard, it's right here. It literally is the like my whiteboard, my planner. Like I cannot live without them. And so I don't know if this would help people, but like that's what helps me. So just like I like to plan on my whiteboard my long-term goals, then my like daily goals, my monthly. Like I like to split them up. I mean, I don't plan that far ahead, like to when I'm like 35, but I do plan like the next couple of weeks, I guess. But I like
There's levels, bro.
Yo,
yeah, for
facts.
Bro, yeah, I
yeah,
had a
there's also
breakdown like
some other shit.
yeah, I had a breakdown like 2 weeks or last week about the same thing as you, like thinking about my parents' retirement and it with like my responsibilities and everything for them
Yo, fam, you
now.
see,
And I was like,
bruh,
bro,
when I tell you exactly what you described, that was me since 21. Like for me,
yeah,
and I still struggle with this too, because it's like you said, it's your responsibility, even though it's not. I feel like that, like pressure on myself, and especially like coming from like an immigrant background, like my parents like sacrificed so much for me. So it's like for me, I feel selfish not thinking about those things. So
that's it. Yeah.
for me, finding that balance, and then think as well, like, you know, like we hear all these terms like, oh, you want to be establishment, etc. It's like find that balance between living your own life, but also taking care of the people who helped you out to become that man or become that person as well. So I think that's where, at least for me, like I still struggle with like that anxiety, because I feel it is not as present as it is or as it was in the past, but it's still something that like I'm struggling with. And like 2022, I said I was gonna buy a whiteboard too for like Sasha. I still didn't do it. So for me, it's
Trust me, guys, a whiteboard, I swear by whiteboards. Everyone, like I always say this, but it helps, like it just helps you clear your mind kind of.
Yeah,
Or
we
like
need a whiteboard
yeah,
whiteboards
facts,
once a
like if
week.
facts.
you have a bunch of like plans and thoughts in your mind, like I do, like instead of just like keeping them in your brain, you can put them somewhere and visually see it, and that will help you organize your, because me it's literally I just get overwhelmed with the amount of things that I need to do. So like that's what creates my anxiety. So for me to have it organized, like that just it eliminates it completely. But one more thing to mention about like something that could help both of you guys too. I think maybe Chris told me this quote, I don't remember, but there's a quote, I forget that the real quote, but basically they say like if there's a bunch of things in front of you that you need to do, think about like what's the first thing, like what's the one thing that you can do right now that will make your situation better. So instead of thinking like holy shit, I have like 1,000 things to do, think about like this minute right now, what is one thing that you can do right now that will make like that will help you move towards your goals or make your situation better, whatever. And so like instead of thinking like, oh, I need to clean my house, oh, I need to go out with my friends, oh, I need to do my podcast, oh, I need to do, you know, you think about like the first thing that's most important and you go do that. And like if you break it down as like I just need to do one thing instead of like 100 million things, that really helps you like ease your mind. And like even when I'm having like anxiety and I'm like, holy shit, I have so many things to do, I'll be like, Sasha, what's the first thing? Like, what's the next thing that you can do right now? And I have to remind myself, and it helps me so much. Like, I swear, like, it changes my whole like mindset. It's crazy. So you guys should try that too.
Yeah, and also want to mention, because for people who don't know this, Sasha and Chris have a very successful. They both have their own very successful Amazon business, 6-figure plus, and to the point where they outsource a lot of their responsibilities. They have assistants and system in place. Guys, could you just talk about how that helped you in terms of managing the anxiety or your day-to-day task, and like how could people implement similar strategies, at least maybe if they have a 9 to 5 or a side hustle, how could they automate certain tasks so for them they have more freedom to be able to address certain things in their personal life?
What, delegating, like delegating tasks?
Yeah, or like putting certain systems in place to have like free
Oh
time.
yeah.
If I was still doing like the bookkeeping and like like accounting type stuff for my business, I'm telling you, I would not be doing my business. If I was still doing the prepping and like the physical work, I'm telling you, I would not
Yeah,
still
you would have stopped. Yeah.
like there's so many things that like that were required in like that this type of business that like I just it's not sustainable for me to be doing that all the time. And like the amount of like as your business grows as well, you're not selling 100 units a month anymore. You're selling like 1,000 units a month, you know, and you physically cannot do that yourself. I mean, maybe if you want to do it all day, but imagine how much more would be on my plate if I was still doing most of those things myself. So for me, like I always tell people, once you if there's tasks that you don't like doing or like you're just not good at them, like either of the two, those are the things that you need to delegate, because it's just not sustainable. Like your business will not last if you're like forcing yourself to do a bunch of things that you don't like. So for me, delegation is literally the best thing I've ever done, and I still feel like I have a lot on my plate. So for me personally, I feel like I need a social media manager now. Like I'm like seriously, like I need someone to help me with my Twitter, with
Yeah.
my answering DMs, like helping me post things. Like
Add us. Add us. Whoever is a qualified social media manager, please DM us your work. We will be in contact within 72 hours. Please, we'll add our social media links down below in the description.
Yeah, facts. We need help. But yeah, I think people need to reevaluate their relationship with money and with time. So I think
that was
One
beautifully
more time,
said.
one more time, one more time. That was the whole bar.
one
One
more
more time.
time.
That went over people's head. Yo, that went over people's head.
No, so what I mean is I was guilty of this too. You put so much emphasis on money, and you're afraid to spend $20 here, $40 there, $100 here, when you can spend that money to save your time, which is more valuable to me. That's how I look at it. And just reshaping that idea and linking the two together to understand that time is more valuable than money, and money can buy back time. You can buy your time with money. So if you look at money as, yeah, okay, I'm spending $200, so I'm losing $200, you can't look at it like that. If you're hiring someone and you're paying them $200, let's say, you're not losing $200. You're gaining all the time that you would have spent doing that thing. Is that worth $200? If the answer is no, then no. But if the answer is yes, then bro, the $200 will come back to you eventually at one point in your life. Like, so that's what I mean by shaping your relationship between time and money.
You see, and that's a very valuable lesson, because I think I'm struggling with that too, because I'm so used to doing everything on my own, and
Yeah,
especially having multiple things at the same time is like you're so used to having everything on your shoulder. And like you said, it is really reshaping that mindset to be able to say, okay, well, guys, spending $18, spending $24 on a system that could, like Sasha said, take out a task. If it's a bookkeeping app that needs to pay to have a specific feature, etc., it might be worth it for you to pay, so you don't have to lose that time in the future as well. So I think that that's a valuable lesson, because sometimes, especially having like a paycheck mentality, like once you pay it, or once it leaves your pocket, it's gone forever. You know, instead you should just shape your mindset to say, I'm making an expense, but it's being transferred over to a different type of gain somewhere
yeah,
else in my life.
yeah. You're buying something, like it's not lost. And I think what you're talking about also, because I feel like what you said, you don't have that relationship. I think you've passed that stage with money. But I think what you're talking about is just being a control freak, basically. I think
Yeah, facts.
yeah, we all
Facts.
are, in a sense. Like, you don't want people to touch your business, or like you like to do everything yourself. Because they say also, if you want something done right, do it yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Because you'll do it the way you like. And yeah, you just have to understand
Yeah.
that there's no other way. Like, there's no other way. You can't. Gary V has a whole team of like thousands of employees behind him. Like, all these people that you know are successful, rappers, celebrities, they have teams. They have like a machine working for them. So you thinking that you can do everything on your own, yeah, it's just wrong. Like, it's just
Yeah.
wrong.
You see, and when you mentioned that, was my realization of 2022 is really to try to put systems in place, try to delegate like I have conversations with people like hiring a VA for certain tasks for things as well.
Yeah.
So it's really getting to that system, like Sasha said, is really knowing your business at 100% level to know exactly, guys, what is the things I don't like, what are the things that I need improvement, and look to take off those tasks off your hands and then delegating that to someone else.
I'm even
And I
trying to have a chef when I get older, like a chef, someone to go buy my groceries for me. Like I'm not trying to do that. I
yeah, it's
could I could do
guys.
it, but I know that if I pay someone to do it, I would be happier. Like
No, shout
Yeah,
to the
living
chef.
just living is time consuming. So like imagine, oh,
Just
but
living.
no, I swear, like cleaning your house, making food every week, like doing groceries,
yeah,
it's actually
cleaning the
quite.
dishes, like that's so much
Guys,
time that
getting my
if you
car
just
washed, I don't
Dog,
have to wash my
a
food.
dishwasher. No. I'm not gonna gloss over that. A dishwasher.
nah, nah.
I haven't.
Method doing the dishes.
I have to fill the dishwasher, which takes time, and then I have
Bro,
to
but
empty
every
it.
no, but it's something you do every day, not every day, but let's say you do it every other day, like
No, I
putting
do
the
it every
things in the
day.
dishes. Yeah, it takes like 30
I do it
seconds, but
every day.
still, like that, along with buying the groceries, along with doing the meals and everything. I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're being a bit dramatic, but it's true. Like these things are pretty time consuming, and
bro,
if you're like running
think
multiple businesses, it's fucking.
celebrities are cooking their own meals and doing
No. That I agree
That's what
with
I'm
you. That I agree
saying.
with you. That I agree with you. The meal part, I can fuck with that shit.
Guys,
But
Kendall Jenner cannot cut a cucumber. I don't know if you guys watched it.
bro,
Yeah, this girl can cut a cucumber.
She
She,
cannot
I,
cut a fucking cucumber. When I saw
guys,
that, I was like, I was shocked. I was like, this girl has never cut a vegetable in her entire life. Like to me,
bro,
that's crazy. Like that's
or
insanity.
she was trolling, because there's no
No.
way.
let me tell you something. If you want to fix your
Literally,
mental health,
uh-huh.
unfollow the Kardashians, unfollow the Shade Room, unfollow all these gossip sites. Because I swear to God, the moment I start being on Shade Room is the moment I start making money. You want to make money?
uh,
Stop fucking being on this fucking gossip shit. I'm tired of everybody knowing what the fucking shit's going on with the Kardashians, knowing the fucking portion size of the spaghetti. This is my fucking rant of the week. I'm fucking tired of this shit, bro. Nah, people are like, I want to make 100K. You're fucking being on IG for fucking 18 hours a day. What the fuck going on? Nah, bro, this is
okay.
ridiculous. I love TikTok, this and that, but not for you guys, because we're
No,
making
you're right.
money.
You're right.
But
I'm guilty.
people are here like making reaction videos to Kendall Jenner and not eating a fucking cucumber, cutting a cucumber properly, bro. You know the fucking baby's name, the middle name,
Trending right now.
you know, the
Yeah, yeah.
driver's name, the chef's name. You don't even know how the fucking TPS and GST work. You can't
I
even
could.
fucking balance. You don't even know NSFT. Bruh, fucking tired of this shit, man.
I
Tired
have
of this
two
shit, bro.
I have two tips for what you just said. So first of all, instead of entertainment, start creating content for people to entertain instead. So
Boom.
every time you're
Yeah,
watching,
make yourself
yeah,
entertainment. Like,
and like it takes time to get to that point because sometimes I'll still consume entertainment and I'm like, oh, this is so nice, blah blah blah. But then I'm like, wait a minute, nobody's and like consuming my content right now. I need to go make more content. So if you kind of adopt that mentality, if you're a content creator, I guess. But number two was, oh yeah, there's like app limits that you can set up on your phone where like you can
yeah,
set
those
that you
don't really work though.
no,
Because,
it works for me, it works for me like sometimes.
oh, really?
Sometimes I bypass them, but like
Nah,
usually I'm
you always bypass. I would bypass them as well. I don't think that works, to be honest. I think it has to be like a conscious mental shift.
no, but if
And
you remind yourself like to do it properly, like well it's now that I've been like growing my social media
no.
where I've been using them a lot more, but like it helps sometimes because sometimes it blocks the apps and then I just don't get notifications and it feels so good because I'm like I'm
Oh yeah,
not
no. Notifications is different. I've
Yeah,
turned I
facts.
don't have notifications on for IG or
me
any of
too.
that. I
Oh,
You
have
guys
double
no
sword.
I have no
notifications
notification.
turn off
That's
your
why maybe
notifications.
sometimes I take time to answer. I have no notifications at all. So
Yeah, me too. I
unless
turned off notifications.
my actual
Yeah, I'm gonna use
messages
that as
on
an
my
excuse now. When I
no,
feel like answering someone, I'm gonna say, I have
that's a
no
fire that's a
notification.
fire excuse still.
Literally, I tell people because I often don't answer my DMs that fast, but it's because I literally have like app limits and they turn off my apps all the time. And I tell people like all the time, I close the app because I don't want to spend too much time on it. So guys, set up notification. No, sorry, turn off your notifications, set up app limits, and create content instead of entertaining content.
By the way, guys, my comments wasn't for the people who are comfortable with the shade room, uh, eat dog, all these gossip sites. My issues with the people who complain about their current situation, saying I don't make money, saying, oh, I wish I was rich, I wish I went to Italy, this and that. Get your fucking fucking ass up like Kim Kardashian said and fucking go to work. Nah, because I'm tired of this shit. Like I go to bed at 5:30. I go to bed at 5:30 every single day.
Yeah, but you're different.
Wakes up at 5:30 to go to
You're
work.
different.
Charles
Because
a
you
different
sleep.
freak.
Yo, this
Yeah,
guy's
I'm a different
4
freak. Like I'm on
hours.
this Kobe Bryant shit, you know, and I'm not happy where I am. If I'm not happy and I fucking got a bunch of money, the fuck you think you are doing right now, bro?
We're not making money. We're not making money. No one's making money.
Oh no, we can make it bands, bro. We're 25-year-olds, bro. Stop this shit. Stop this shit. I'm gonna talk my shit off, bro. We started a podcast 6 weeks, what, 5 weeks ago? We're on our shit right now, bro. Motherfuckers talking about the same projects they had 4 years ago. I'm getting started right now, bro. Success is speed, bro. You want to fucking make money, do it quickly. Now I'm tired of this shit. People are saying, "Oh, I'm gonna do it. I have an idea." Talking about the same idea since high school. Like Sasha said, there's ways to make money. You want to talk about gossip? Make a gossip site. Take the same screenshot they take, post it, repost it, make
Yeah,
money.
I think people are like it. They don't actually want it. Like you think you want it, but you don't, because when you want something, your actions align. And
Yeah.
for most people, and for me, for most of my life, my actions didn't align. So that means that I didn't want it bad enough. Because if you want like a cigarette or something, you're gonna go get a cigarette.
Mm-hmm.
But so if you really want to make money, then you're gonna go cut all the distractions off, turn everything off, and you're gonna make money, and that's it. So yeah.
Let's talk about this OnlyFans, because I swear to God, people are spending
What?
$40, $20 on OnlyFans where they could pay a fucking course that could change their life for $100.
Yo,
$20.
people pay for
Nah, I'm good.
OnlyFans. Yeah.
A little
Nah,
jack
usually
off, and then you
post for
can't fucking make
OnlyFans.
no money.
Yeah, guys, I saw this. I saw a podcast and like people were talking shit about some girl making money on OnlyFans, and then the girl's like her like defense was like, oh well, what about all of these guys spending like wasting all of their money on
Right.
freaking OnlyFans?
Yep,
Like,
that's the issue.
and it's like,
That's my
okay,
beef.
whatever. Yeah, like some people have issues with people, posting nudes for money, whatever. That's their own personal decision. But it's like
Oh
they're
yeah.
the like a lot of these people are the ones paying for it. Like who's actually paying for these things,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And it's like they're wasting all like how did Bad Baby make $50 million on OnlyFans? And guys, she's 19 or something. Like I'm pretty sure she's 19 right now.
That's disgusting.
That's some weird
Exactly.
shit. That's
Number
some weird
one,
shit.
Grown ass man. Catch me outside, Dr. Phil.
They've been waiting since the
Nah,
Catch Me
because and
Outside
like
thing.
Sasha said, if you could post on OnlyFans that have no customers,
Oh yeah, 100%.
but it's the fact that you have a bunch of people
Your pussy
lined
could
up.
not be worth $5. But some people, it's
know,
true,
baby girl.
it's marketing stills. Like it's
Yo,
marketing.
because and that's why I want men to be able to evaluate what's important in their life. Because I think that, and we talk about mental health, I think a lot of people are consumed by the cat. Like you're so consumed by the cat that if you don't have anything or if you only do something, it's because you're chasing cats. And that right there is a recipe for disaster. You're not fulfilled internally, you're just fulfilled by whatever. You only get money so you can have more women, etc., etc. It's like Chris said, you have to find fulfillment within yourself, and spending hard-earned money, do whatever you want. I'm not saying that you can't spend your money in places you want, but if you're spending money on OnlyFans, then you complain about your financial situation, then I have a real problem with that shit.
do you guys know anyone that has actually paid for OnlyFans? Because I don't, but
Too many.
No, really,
Really?
Too many.
I don't know any of my guys.
Bruh.
Maybe
Too many. Too many.
Like,
A lot of
it's
people be
not
capping. A lot of people be capping. A lot of people say, or you know what? If you don't have Twitter, Google OnlyFans or search OnlyFans. You'll have that shit for free. And that's to a point where people are capping, because it's like we're such in a generation where it's instant gratification, and it's to the point where making this gonna be more than LeBron James on OnlyFans.
what?
She made $50 million. She
apparently
made more than LeBron James.
Oh yeah, that's crazy.
Think about that.
That's fucking
that's
crazy.
insanity. That's
There's
like
you know,
people
literally.
working 9 to 5 jobs still, and this girl.
And like,
making
who is this
50
girl?
M's.
Like, I mean, she killed it. She killed it. Like, she brought her life into something. But like, what the fuck? Like, it's just
and like
insane. Like, what the fuck?
like shout to these entrepreneurs,
Reals.
OnlyFans entrepreneurs. But my issue is not with them. My issue is with the paying customer.
No, they're
'cause it's-
killing it. If they're happy with they're killing it. I mean, I personally wouldn't want my girlfriend to do that, but if they're happy with if they're happy
Yo,
with what they're doing, and bro, get your money. Like if that's how you're gonna get your money, who gives a fuck about what people think of you
Facts.
or anything like that?
Yeah, I agree.
I'm with you.
50 M's,
Yo, Chris, if your
50
girl,
M's.
oh, hold on, never mind. Pause.
Oh,
Never
oh.
mind. I ain't gonna ask nothing. I ain't gonna ask nothing. But 50 M's, 50 M's, we can have a conversation. Big me 50 M's, we can have a conversation. Anything below that, baby girl.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
like
see,
as long as
if
it makes
there's
you
a, if
the
there's
end.
a,
Yeah, there's
if
a
she,
max, like a minimum that you could like accept.
no, because with your girl, it's like, would you be accepting if your girl was sending nudes to other guys, even if
That's
it's,
all. Yo, but 50 M's.
yeah, I know what you're saying. I know
Yo,
what you're
50
saying.
M's? Ah, baby girl.
Nah,
Let me join you in this bitch, bro.
Girlfriend. What if you do it with your girlfriend?
For 50
what?
M's?
Well, if she gives
For
me a cut,
or for 1M, would you do it with your girlfriend, both of you together? A joint OnlyFans for 1M annually.
do people know it's you? Like you have to show
Shit,
your
you,
face
you
and
know what?
everything?
My family gonna watch this. I'm gonna say no.
They know it's you.
Yeah, I don't know. 1M. I'm not selling my soul for 1M, but
1 million
Yeah.
annually.
And you, Sasha, you do it?
I mean, I don't know. That's a little bit.
yeah.
I think it would have to be a little bit more than that because, like, I believe that it's possible
20M,
to make.
20M, 20M,
Yeah, I
20
believe
M's?
it's
20
You
make $1
agree?
million.
20 M's.
So
I'll do
I
it.
don't think that like I would need like I feel like I would be able to achieve $1 million eventually, but like so like I wouldn't want to do that either. But I think if it was maybe like 20 M's maybe or maybe even 10
Shit,
M's.
bro.
It depends. Like it would have to be a collective. Like I don't think I could do it alone. Like it would have to be with somebody. Like we're if I'm going down, we're both going down, you know? Like it would have to be together.
Bruh.
Yeah, I'd rather do OnlyFans than work a 9 to 5 though. That's 100%. That's 100%. Like I'll do OnlyFans before I apply it. Like before I download Indeed and apply for a job. I'm doing
Hell
OnlyFans.
no, my man did not say that.
I'm doing
Hell
OnlyFans
no.
first. I don't think I'm even kidding. Bro, once you quit, like you can't go back. I can't see
You're
myself
Yo.
sending an
like if
application.
you were guaranteed money on OnlyFans, then maybe I wouldn't go back to 9 to 5. Like if I
Yeah,
was guaranteed,
but man, stop it. Remember that day that OnlyFans got shut down and all these girls went back to
Oh,
the.
but you're
yeah.
right.
No? Because that's the issue with these like IG, TikTok. You're a slave to the app. If the app is gone, then you have
That's
no
facts. That's facts. But
money.
in the same way, we're also sort of a slave to Amazon as well right now.
100%.
Like, if Amazon is shut down, I have to go do OnlyFans. Like,
No. No lie. No lie. I don't think I'm not there with you right now. But
no, yeah, you're chilling. You still have a 9 to 5, but once you get out,
yeah.
Then
Shout out to my entrepreneurs.
then you know.
But
didn't we have
nah,
to talk
man,
about Gary
it's-
V or Veecon or something?
yeah. Speaking of
Yeah.
You want to
entrepreneurship,
talk about
I'm so pissed that that we didn't go to Veecon. It looked so like
where was it? Like
Minnesota.
Oh, that's random. If it was Miami, I'd be down, but like Minnesota, we can wait.
We can wait. Yo, but what's sick is that for people who don't know that what Veecon is that Gary V had a NFT called V Friends. So essentially, if you
V-Friends.
bought the NFT, you have exclusive access to Gary V and
Yeah.
the Gary V ecosystem. So essentially,
Yeah.
he launched his first annual Veecon conference, which was concentrated on Web3. And for people who don't know what Web3 is, it's basically we're in Web2 right now. Web3 is metaverse, NFTs, that whole crypto space as well. So essentially, he had a whole conference, had a bunch of guests as well. Basically, the Coachella of Web3, if you want to
Yeah.
name it that way. And
I wish
if
you
you,
went.
yeah, but you know how much the NFT cost for VFriends? It was like 70K, and originally it was like at like 1.5 when it first came out. You know? So
Yeah, he killed it. Because
yeah,
you know what he's doing with V Friends? He's like, trying to become the new Disney of the future
Yeah.
of the metaverse.
yeah,
He's
a
trying to
whole
become-
ecosystem. Yeah, a
he's
whole
trying-
ecosystem.
Yeah. He's trying to do like Serial and a bunch. He's trying to have his TV shows on his V Friends and everything based around those characters. And I heard him say that like he's trying to go Walt
And
Disney
you
on
see,
us.
I'm gonna give Gary Vee a lot of credit because he brought this conversation of the NFT space to the forefront. You know, he brought it up. He went on interviews, talked about it. promoted himself as being a leader in the NFC space. So
Yeah.
everything he does right now is, well, he is obviously an expert in this field, but as if he is the industry leader. So at this point, like Chris said, anything he does is taking away a bit more credence compared to anybody else. So he is,
Yeah, he's the one. Like,
yeah,
he's
the first adopter, exactly. He'll be the first one to do exactly like Chris said, cereal, V-Friend World, T-shirt, merchandise, etc. So by having all this ecosystem, it essentially propels him to being the next Walt Disney, potentially. You know, the same way Kanye West is doing right now with the whole Yeezy philosophy where you're building an ecosystem. He's going to do the same thing with Web3. So I think
Yeah.
that it was a great conference. I'm like pissed that we didn't go. And
Yeah, we need to go to one. How do you guys know how much it costs?
oh my guy, I know it started like at 3K
Yeah, I'm sure it would be 3K.
for like
yeah.
a day.
You know
We
what?
could
I
do
saw
it.
this.
You
I
can
saw this
expense
other
it, no?
event, and there was like I saw this other event, and there's like a virtual like option where you can like you don't have to physically go there. You can just like attend. I don't know if it was. It wasn't for. I don't know if it was Veecon, but it was something. And there's a girl Vanessa Lau on YouTube. There's a girl Vanessa Lau. She's like super big on like YouTube and how to create content and stuff, and like how to build an audience and whatever. And she was speaking, and that's what like I saw it from her page. And you could buy tickets. They were like $250 USD, and you could attend virtually or something, which was pretty.
Okay.
I know what you're talking about. Is the
I don't- I
influences?
I think so. I don't
Yeah,
remember
there
the
was a
event.
couple
I'm
of
pretty
them.
sure.
There was a couple of
I'm
them.
Yeah.
pretty sure it was like Gary Vee, Vanessa Lau.
Auntie O'Neill.
What's that guy's name? Layla Horzoki. He's like a big guy on Instagram.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
posts-
the guy who's popping on
Yeah,
Instagram now.
his girlfriend's Layla Horzoki. It's his name's like Horzoki or something. He was speaking as well. Anyways, it's a bunch of people that I follow and like I listen to their content and I was like, why am I not attending this? Actually, you know what? I think it's not even. I think it's like May. Oh, maybe it was last weekend. I don't even know when it was to be honest. But I was like seriously considering buying tickets because like I think Charl, you had said this in one of our episodes how like we need to start like buying like paying for these things because it's like
Yeah.
they're so valuable. You can learn so much from these people.
A lot
And
of
these are
business
people that too.
It's a business trip too.
Yeah.
Guys, we need to go to one of them because I would rather go.
We can go to one of them.
Well, first
Yeah,
off,
I'd rather go
first
physical.
off, we have two things. We have F1 coming up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
F1 coming up next month.
You're right.
Yeah. Business gonna be done in your local city. So we got F1. Number two. Again, I'm still on this networking event because I'm tired of all these big cities. And this weekend, if you're not from Montreal, we had Drake, Lil Baby.
Little baby.
I'm not
Metro,
sure if 50
Metro.
Cent actually came up to Montreal, but we had Metro. And if I knew all this was gonna be going on, I would have sat in the concrete for maybe 12 hours because it was worth it.
I saw the tickets, but then I was like, because we're going to Europe, I'm gonna like prioritize Europe, and I didn't buy tickets. And then the day of, I saw someone tweet like, "Oh, Drake just landed in Montreal," and I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" And like, I mean, I care more to see Little Baby personally because I've seen Drake already, and who else? Oh yeah, Niska, Drake. And anyways, I wanted to see Little Baby because this is Little Baby's first time, I believe,
Yeah.
in
Yeah,
Canada,
Metro.
or at least in Montreal on tour, and I was like, how did I miss this? Like, I'm so pissed off. Anyway, shout out to Metro though, because I remember when they launched like their like whatever like concert or whatever.
Yeah, 3 years ago.
Yeah, it was like
Just
three. It was like
trash.
yeah, and it was like a really small thing. I remember the first one was like super small, and now they've expanded to this like huge show where Drake was there. Like that's fucking crazy. And 50 Cent, like what the fuck?
I'm just gonna
50
say
was
this. Yeah, apparently.
On Sunday,
They
apparently.
need to have grass because you know where I'm dancing on concrete for 12, 14 hours. That's my issue. My knees be busted already. I can't do all that shit. Because
No,
I
I
saw a
don't think
TikTok where people were running like a gazelle. I was like, oh, like you know the Kentucky Derby, like when you go on the horse, people are running. I'm like, shit.
Yeah, honestly, I think I'm
can't.
too old for concerts now because like when I used to go to concerts a lot, like the last one I went to was like right before COVID, and I swear I was like falling asleep, and I was like, I can't do this anymore.
Stop it. Let's cap. Let's cap.
We need to
Let's
have
go.
like daytime events. We need to have like day events.
Yo, South Beach. I'm trying to go day drinking, but that's the vibe, bro.
Yeah, you're trying to go
That's
to
the man.
Miami, Charl?
Yeah. I'm trying to. Well, I'm pulling up next December, but I'm trying to stay a weekend, like really go to a conference. Maybe if everything works out, I'll go to Grant Cardone 10X conference
Oh, that's
next
gonna
year.
be Good.
If it's not like Sasha said, they have a virtual option too. So for people who don't know, Grant Cardone is a titan in real estate and really emphasizes multifamily investing. So if you aren't able to, because it's expensive, if you aren't able to go to the conference in person, I suggest you go and buy a virtual ticket. I know last year he had Rick Ross. 2 years ago, yeah, Kevin Hart talked about multifamily investing as well. So there's always a bunch of people, well-known, established celebrities, entrepreneurs who go ahead and give their advice on investing. But I just want to talk about a bit more about Veecon because these conferences, you have like ComplexCon, you have Veecon, you have a bunch of tech conferences as well. I think that, like Sasha said, if you're in your 20s and you don't have any kids, these are the types of conferences you want to go to. Not even if you don't have a business, etc. Just learning about Web3 because nobody knows about it. Gaining an edge in Web3 could legit make you a millionaire. If you're able to know, like I tell people, you could legit become a landlord in the metaverse if you wanted to.
Yeah.
You know, if you own a billboard and you lease the billboard for ads, you could legit get passive income. But it's that forward thinking that makes you think that of metaverse just not like a game. But if anybody played the game of Sims, you'll see exactly what are the possibilities in the metaverse. So by going to these conferences and having conversation with people who study and learning from Gary and the guest, you have the opportunity to potentially gain an edge and plan for the future. What everybody's like currently living for the present as well.
Mm.
Yeah, and they're talking about things that we've never even heard of, or like things that we have never experienced. You know, like these people are so much more ahead. Like they're so much more ahead than us because like they've accomplished like a lot of the things that we're trying to accomplish. So like I don't know. I like when I saw that one event with like a bunch of people that I was like, holy shit, these are like literally all of the people that I look up to. I was like, I need to be surrounded. Like I need to hear them speak and like be surrounded by these type of people. So
yeah,
it's the information, literally, like we were saying last was it last one or the one before? There's worlds of information that exist that you don't know of, whether it be real estate and isn't it crazy to think about that? Like there are things that you have absolutely no idea about that could change your life completely, and you have to go find those things.
Facts.
One piece of information could change your life, and I tell people this is where sometimes it's not because I know a lot of people like they'll go to multiple conferences. Sometimes it's just one piece of information and taking action on that piece of information. You know,
so true.
if I know Gary probably had the whole conference film, probably just gonna sell it or post it on YouTube. So there'll be valuable clips where you're able to learn from the people who spoke at the conference. But especially for people who don't have, we'll say, well, the physical world is still here. But if you're able to have both avenues covered, then you have the possibility of making a lot of money long term as well.
Yeah.
All right. Did we have any other topics for today?
Oh, I wanted to say one more thing about Veecon. So, Charl, do you remember? And do you remember there was a guy who posts like impersonations of Gary Vee?
Yeah. Gary Vee 2.0. He was there.
There's actually two of them. And so I was gonna say, did you see the video? I know Chris saw the video because we spoke about it already. But basically, I wanted to say, kind of in relation to like stop caring what people think about you, because I was thinking of him and I was like, this guy, I remember like Chris said that he was posting on TikTok, like when was it?
Yeah. It was like in 2020, I think.
During the pandemic.
The first video I watched of him was 2 years. So he's been doing this.
Yeah, so he's been doing this. And I was thinking like at the same time, I was thinking like he must have not given a shit what people thought about him, you know? Because like that's like something like I don't know, to me to impersonate someone, like for me that would be so embarrassing.
But you have to be super good. Like he's really good at it. If you're trying,
he's on point.
Yeah, he's
no, but I was gonna say like he literally killed it. Like this guy created like a whole career out of like it's the most it's like it's something that you wouldn't even think is possible. You know, he built this whole following and like this whole like life out of what, you know, like it's like there are so many things that you can do in this world that you'd have no idea even exist, and it's just like you just need to go try a bunch of things, even if you look like a fool 100 times. Once you get to the 101st thing,
fuck what anyone thinks,
maybe it'll pop up, you know.
Yeah, 100%. I think Chris said something very valuable during the episode, and you know, I went to conference last year, and the person said the same thing. Keep the documentation throughout your whole process.
Yeah.
Film a documentary, take pictures, etc. Because all
Yeah,
that
to see
content
your
you use
progress.
afterwards
Yeah,
for
I
you
used
to.
all my contact
Yeah,
content
there you go.
afterwards.
You know, imagine if Chris would have made a documentary throughout the whole process and would
That
basically
would
made a
be,
whole film, put it on
yeah.
YouTube. You know, sometimes you have to stretch your brain to say, okay, well, now, but when? Yeah, I think of the Kanye West documentary. I'm
That's
not
what I
saying
was
everybody
gonna
needs to
say.
Kanye
That's
West,
sort of like
but
Kanye West shit.
sometimes you have to document the process. The Rock did the same thing. Kevin Hart did similar things. Keeping all footage of the process and using that at a later
Right.
date can make the whole difference as well.
And it's so
Bro,
true. Like he believed in himself so much that he was like starting to film from day
Yeah,
one. Like a lot of us
and it
think like,
wasn't
oh,
even him. It was his friend that
yeah, it's
believed in him.
entourage. Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
so he
right.
filmed. But you know, when you know someone is going to be special, like I think you could just tell from there that he was going to be special because of the level of confidence and self belief that he had in
yeah, but I
himself.
think you have to believe in yourself because, like, we talked
That's
about
the
like
Yeah.
thing.
being
And
being
he's on
consistent and
ultra
like,
level of
yeah,
self confidence.
you know, and like all these people have a thing in common. If you think about Warren Buffett, The Rock, Kevin Hart, LeBron James, Tom Brady, Warren Buffett, Floyd Mayweather, Tiger Woods, it's all 20 years plus of waking up every day, being consistent. And
Literally, yeah.
it's not them being pro for 20 years. It's legit from them being a child to them being a teenager. So it's like you're there for like 30 years plus of, and Kobe Bryant being the same, doing the same thing over and over again. So people, it's a long process, but it's an enjoyable process, you know. And sometimes there's no get rich in 30 days type schemes over here, you know. Sometimes there's really, you know, and we all accomplish some type of success, but we're not where we want to be long term, you know. So even though people look up to us to say, "Oh, guys, you guys did a lot of things, and you guys have a lot going for yourself,"
I
I feel
don't
like I'm at
feel it
five
at all.
percent. I feel like I'm
Yeah,
at 5%. You
Me
know,
literally.
neither.
I'm just getting
I'm
started.
always like, I need to do more. I need to do more. I need
yeah,
to do more. Oh,
you know. So, and we've been consistent for a couple years now. Like I know Chris, Sasha have been here for 2, 3 years. I've been here for 4 years, 5 years, and we're just getting started. So it's really a, like Nipsey said, it's a very long marathon, but the
facts.
marathon always continues. You know, and you have to embrace that journey to say, I'm gonna give it my all every single day, and if you could be 1% better than you were yesterday, you did your job. At least that's my
100%.
philosophy.
Facts. Facts, facts, facts.
Well,
Or
I
who
think that,
started the episode? Was it me or who ended up doing it?
yeah, it ended up being you. It
Yeah.
was you.
All right, all right. Well, do you have anything else, guys, before we wrap up?
Nah, anybody got a rant?
I think that was a great
I think
episode.
you guys both went. Sorry,
Yo,
Charles,
I
you
want
went
a
on a rant
rant.
for sure.
Oh, yo, sorry guys, we were talking
Little
and like,
rant.
And Sasha did as well, I think.
I had a little rant,
I'm
slightly.
good. I'm good. I'm happy. I'm good right now. But yeah, no, this is a great episode.
Yeah, there's so many like good things that we spoke about. Like
yeah.
think about the
Yeah,
next step with you. Don't overwhelm yourself. Try a bunch of different things. Think long term. Like I don't know what else to summarize, but that was a really good episode. And yeah, I think a lot of
Invest in
people.
yourself. That's the biggest key. Invest in your mental health, invest in your physical health, invest in your friendships, and the rest is just gonna play out.
yeah, self-development. Look into it if you're not looking into it already. Self-development, improving on yourself, seeing what aspects of your life you can improve. And yeah, that's pretty much it for us today. So thank you for watching. If you've made it this far, leave a comment saying, I don't know,
Yes.
hi. Yeah, or leave the peace sign emoji. Leave
Yeah,
the
leave the
peace
peace sign.
emoji.
Or leave a
And
diamond, leave a gem.
Yes, or both.
Yeah, both. So leave both.
We
And
just needed someone.
yeah.
Well, yeah,
All right,
that
bye
was
guys. See you next week.
Great episode. Bye, guys.